Okay, my top 5 hip hop producers of all time. So I'm not gonna give it in specific order, but I'm gonna just list my top 5. And so I'm starting out with Pharrell Williams, obviously VA native, DMV native. Um, but there's always been a fan of Pharrell, man, and his creativity, especially with his production, obviously, with the Neptunes individually, with you know his work individually. He's worked with just about everybody, not even just in hip hop. Like hip hop, I mean, we talking about beyond just the genre of hip hop. We talking about just about every genre um, of music. Um, but he's been, his hip hop specific kind of production has been to me my favorite of his production, and it's always like when it comes to Pharrell, his productions is always like unique and abstract, and it's like, but it's still tight. It's always tough. Um, it's always, the drums is always banging. He always got some real different melodies and stuff that it's like I don't know where he got those melodies and sounds from, but them joints is tight though, like put together and what he's doing. It's like that production is tight. It's Pharrell, you know what I mean? And he's somebody that every time it's a production you hear, it's a Pharrell production on it, you gotta listen to it. On any album, you gotta listen to the Neptunes or the Pharrell production on the joint, because that one is gonna be unique. It's gonna stand out. It's gonna be really dope sound of production and everything. So that said, just gotta give that credit to Pharrell. Then I'm gonna go with Kanye West, aka Ye. Um, you can say whatever you want about, but the boy could, his production, has always been A1. Uh, from the day one of Kanye being quote unquote in the industry or relevant or however you want to say, his beats and his production is what put him on the map. And he's always been dope with his soul beats and stuff like that. I always been a fan of his soul beats, all his beats. It's never I've never heard a bad Kanye beat. All Kanye beats is always tough. It's always creative and just kind of like on some different, unique kind of stuff. Just he got some just real, almost like godly kind of production at times, and it'd be dope to me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, you can't even front. You know, that's another. When you see that Kanye got a production on the joint, you know that the production is A1. You know what I'm saying? He's always A1 on them backboards, man. You know what I'm saying? With the production. Uh with uh he's worked with just about everybody in hip hop outside of, and as well, similar to like a Pharrell, he's worked with artists and other just about every major artist outside of hip hop. He's worked with a lot of artists outside of hip hop, and it has been dope in there. But again, much like Pharrell, for me, I've always loved been a big fan of his hip hop production. Third, I'm gonna go with Timberland, another VA, DMV, type of person. Um, but it's no bias. I've really just, them Pharrell and Timberland have always been like, I'm like, yo, these dudes always got some unique, but just sweet ass beats and stuff like that. But yeah, Timberland from my favorite era of Timberland for me personally is late '90s, early 2000s era. Like when he was working with Aaliyah and Jay and those guys. That's my Missy. That's my favorite era of Timberland production. He's still fire to this day. He still puts out fire and stuff like that. But that's my personal favorite era because there's nothing, there's no duplicate of that sound. Like you can't remake that sound. That's for that time, and it can only be for that. Not it can't be. It can still be appreciated now and remixed or whatever. It hasn't really been remixed for real. But that era is just such a distinct sound for me when it comes to Timbaland and his production. His drums was always banging and going crazy, and he always just got some again like unique, much like Pharrell, like very unique sounds and melodies and stuff in his production that I'd be like, I don't know where he got this, how he got this from, but it still worked. It's still fire. Like it's still going. So then I'm gonna go with Hit Boy. Hit Boy, he has always been on a freaking like from day one, from the first time, like from the niggas in Paris. I was really kind of like, I think I probably when I first kind of got introduced to Hit Boy. To date, he has been fire. Every beat, I've never heard a bad Hit Boy beat, like or just like not even it's a bad beat or like a okay beat. It's like always when it come to Hit Boy, it's always good to me. It's always fire to me. That's just my personal opinion. But and he always keeps his production like it's always unique. It don't really be sounding the same. It's like I could hear like he'll do a sicko mode, which has like it's like unique kind of soundish type of thing, and then he could do like some soulful shit, soulful type of stuff, and do some other. He just got a great ear. He know good sounds. Um, you've seen what he's been doing with Nas and the King's Disease series. He's been on a tear over the past 3 years, working with just about all the top artists, rap artists in a recent time, and just giving them the dopest production. All just giving people hits, like his name. You know what I'm saying? Like just giving people the hits, giving people them bangers, man. And I'm just a fan. I'm just sitting here, just like, hey, I'm just waiting for more and more and more. So yeah, got Hit Boy in my top five, and then to round out my list, I gotta put Alchemist. You know, that's like the GOAT, man. All these guys I named are GOATs. That's why I couldn't either in any day I could have any of these guys as my number one. That's why I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, put a fifth. But yeah, Alchemist, man, he's just been super dope, man. Just his projects, but he's been, it's like, you know, with his projects with Freddie Gibbs, that joint, the pop, Alfredo. I don't want to say pasta. Alfredo, that joint's a classic. All his joints with Currency, like Griselda, Jay Worthy, Bodie, like he's been the projects with Bodie, and like he's just all of them are classics. It's like he don't like every joint that Al has been putting out has been classic, man. And I'm just such a super fan of his music and his production and the way he samples his the way he samples is always just like he finds the best chops, he finds the best samples, and he can like he does a good job of uh you know mixing them and just put them in the correct places that they need to be, the samples. And he always got a real abstract sound that I always like when it comes to his production. And his drums. I'm a big person. I love it when people's drums is banging. And then you got joints where when his sample beats where there's no drums and it's just smooth and it's just like it's just fire. So yeah, man, that's the round out uh the list from our top 5 hip hop producers of all time.